Hey guys, welcome back to my Let's Try series. This time we're checking out another game from the November game jam that I participated in. This one is actually probably the most consistently recommended one in that I polled a bunch of people and they always mentioned this one every single time, which is impressive because it is a furry visual novel that features no furry art, so it's got like a bit of a uphill battle for getting people to engage with it, because I think it's just like a writer and they used alternative forms of visuals to make up for not having being an artist or having an artist on hand and so on, and not wanting to use the built-in sprites, I guess. Immediately, you can immediately guess that it's about penis, what with the statue and the very specific angle on the statue, two bits of horse imagery, and a man who's a horse, and it's called Meet Mr. Big. So I'm curious about this one. This is an adult game for adults only, so only check out the full version if you are adult. And we're gonna get started. It's not subtle. Sorry, that being the first line. That being the first line and then just flashing us with a nude statue with a banana. You're right. It isn't. Oh. I'd been expecting it. But God, it still hurts. Okay, I'm gonna need to... There you go. I don't like it when it doesn't populate because then it might skip one. One inch soft, 2.5 inches hard. I can feel my cheeks burning as Hartland stares at me with those beautiful golden eyes of his. My heart races. My flesh crawls beneath my fur. I did say... No, you're pretty big. Pity. But I've been expecting this. I've run through this scenario dozens of times. This isn't as bad as it could have been. Worst case scenario was him puking at the sight of me. I can work with this. God, he's beautiful. You're staring, big buck. I've imagined our first night together 1,000 times. Fantasized about it. Written poetry about it. His dorm room should feel small and cramped. The bed against the wall is broad enough for both of us. We'll have to squeeze in together uncomfortably to sleep tonight. The opposite wall is taken up by his desk, coated in textbooks and art supplies. But it doesn't feel cramped. Not with him here. The walls lean back for him. He creates space to breathe. I want to please him. I want our first time to be perfect. Listen, it's fine. I know I'm not the biggest, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. But now it's just you and me, little kitty. I put out a snarl for that line, making my voice deep and gravelly. It hurts to fake that, but Hartland purrs, and his tail swishes excitedly. Yeah, big buck? Yeah. I'm gonna make you come so hard tonight, kitty. That's not just my job, that's my honor. And how are you going to do that, big buck? A moment of hesitation, of steeling myself for what is coming. Then I step out of the underwear pulled at my ankles and walk to him. He peers up at me with those sweet golden eyes of his, and I leap in. I kiss him. His purrs rumble through my lips, and his tongue follows. I'm still not used to that sensation. I had my first proper kiss 7 hours ago. Oh no! You're really diving into... Wow. What a line to pull then, 1 second ago, when you've never anything... When I met him at the coach station, it was short and chaste. People were trying to get past us. We've only kissed like this, with tongue I mean, since we got back to his dorm room. I think I like it, even as my cheeks burn and my fingers paw clumsily at his hips. I like making out. It feels like I've been waiting forever to find this out. but we've only been dating for 4 months. We've known each other for years. We grew up together. He came out to me, and later I returned the favor. He tastes nothing like I thought. I didn't know he chewed bubble gum. It's not something he mentioned online. But God, he's delicious. Fucking banana. The banana that is specifically unpeeled, which is like an abstract expression of a foreskin, basically, right? Like, wild. I stand there behind him, peering down between us, stroking at his rounded rump, trying to gauge my mark. Like this, with his legs spread, I can see it. I know where to aim for. You keep staring into that abyss, it's gonna stare back into you. You're quoting Nietzsche at me? No, that's the opening to Baldur's Gate. Doesn't know where the quote is from. I mean, it sounds like Baldur's Gate quoted Nietzsche. Big Buck knows his Nietzsche, little kitty. Hartland bursts out laughing at that. Genuine, wild laughter. And a second later I join him, just collapsing my face into the sheets and cackling. The humiliation doesn't leave me, but it's swallowed up in his warmth. My fur stands on end like I'm charged with static electricity. And Hartland, fuck, he throws his head back, he moans, he acts like he's enjoying this even as the shame burns in my cheeks, watching him squirm there, below me, pretending. He wrenches on my antler, he claws at my chest, he purrs and squirms, and he rips one of my antlers from my skull. Oh. Oh, shit. We both stare dumbfounded at the curved bone in his fingers. Hartland looks horrified. I just fumble at my head and find the hole in my scalp. There's a hot rush of blood pouring down my face, running over my eye, but nothing I'm not used to. That's bad timing. I need some antiseptic and a bandage if you had one. Carter. After that, we can keep going. Oh, God. No, don't try to save it now. What a mortifying, furry-specific way for your first time to go is to have your fucking antler break off and the bleeding to happen. Ugh. I'll make you come so hard, kitty. I promise. Hartland? His eyes roll back in his skull, and he flops back into the bedsheets, vomit spilling from his slack maw. Oh no, did he pass out and throw up? That's a combo. Damn. I mean, that eclipses everything else, honestly. So, I might have, to recap, because I think I probably cut some of that out because it was just 20 minutes of porn. And that's a bit much for YouTube. I don't know where the line is. You can't ask anybody. That's the annoying thing about making YouTube videos, but it's probably a bit much. Basically, our protagonist isn't very large downstairs, and they were also having their first time, and the person, it's really sad because like he tried to over-prepare by having so many tools and things, just inherently assuming that he's not enough, which is its own kind of sad to do for people that live this way and so on. But like then the person he's there with like does the thing of like, well, no, I'm here to be with you. That's the whole point. I want my first time to be with toys. And so they're trying to fool around, but he's struggling with the logistics of it, trying to fit it while not being able to find where to put it, and also the ass being too big. So there's just like it's just in the way. There's too much dump truck back there, and that combined with just the usual expected awkwardness and struggling to last and so on for people that are fumbling and having their first time. Having that all end with a horrifying antler breaking off is just like, oh, well, that's definitely worse than everything else that happened so far, honestly. That's the vague recap. At one point there was a Baldur's Gate reference. I might have left that in. I see him before he sees me. It's been 2 months since our disastrous first meeting, but he looks so much older already, especially now that he's grown out the fur around his jaw. His arms are crossing over his chest, glaring down the train as it pulls in alongside him, as if daring it not to stop. Tall and made taller still by the gleaming monolith in an antler, broad-shouldered and stocky, like an ancient gladiator out of his element. So we've switched characters, I think. We're now playing as the opposite perspective. The moment I see him is the moment the world comes into focus for me again, after all this time. God, I love this man. And God, am I terrified. The train's packed, but I wind my way through the crowd, apologizing and nudging past people until I get to the doorway between cars. I have to jog through 3 bustling train carriages in all so I can be at the right door when they swing open. Carter! He looks for me, finds me. For the longest second of my life, all my worries coalesce, snapping their way at my throat. Hartland? I think he won't smile. He won't look pleased. That he'll look at me and remember nothing but the one night we had together. I'm frozen in the doorway, people tutting and huffing at my back, trying to nudge past. Hartland! And he heaves me down into his warm arms like he's pulling me from ice water. It's 9 AM, and I've already been traveling for 4 hours. I'm hungry, and I ache from sitting with my backpack between my legs. I'm in a city I've never visited before, in a train station that is just a monstrous steel shed, wide open at both ends such that it becomes a wind tunnel. But here, in his arms, I'm home. Huh. Carter, people are trying to get off. Oh, well? So are we, haha. No. Oh, fucking tell me about it. He laughs wildly, like I've never heard him laugh before. And I swear some part of that steel roofing must fall away because the world is suddenly so brilliant. He kisses me hungrily as people push around us. I drink in his taste, and the scent of him is all... It's all him. No fragrance, just his musk, his masculinity. When I push my weight into him, he takes a half step back, and I blink innocently at him. You've lost weight? You've lost weight? Maybe you've put some on. Great way to get into my pants, Cart. He can't wait for me to finish the thought. He kisses me again. And another time, too. Not just deeply, but desperately. Every time he pulls back, I genuinely think we'll finally talk, or rub our foreheads together, or anything else, and every time he has to have one more taste. The train sweeps away behind us, whipping my mane up about us, dragging at my shirt as eagerly as Carter is dragging at my hips. That roar of its engine is nothing compared to my purr. That's the wrong it's. Sex in the City, horse. Meet Mr. Big. Ah, wasn't that was his name, wasn't it? Wasn't Mr. Big like the recurring character throughout Sex in the City or something? I don't think I've ever seen him this happy as we walk out paw in paw. He takes me to a food van at the edge of an industrial estate, not far from the station. I could have floated there on the smell of sizzling grease alone. It's weird. I think it's weird looking back. Like, my parents had me watching Sex and the City and The Sopranos, like, as a family when I was a teenager. They're just like, it's the new age of television, HBO. And it's like, both of these are more adult than I am at the moment, so that's interesting. So it's interesting just to switch perspectives because we specifically started off with a character that has a small dick and is only thinking about that all the time. Then we switched to their partner, who he misread and thought he couldn't be enough for, And his partner is madly in love with him and literally is never thinking about that. Ever. Greece. We have millimeter thin burgers and flat soda at 10 a.m., talking frantically about nothing important, as if every moment silent is wasted. So, have you seen that show? Sex in the City? No, I'm gay, but I'm not that gay, Carter. So maybe this is when tapes were around. It's Sex in the City. I remember specifically, we didn't have HBO. We were renting individual Sex in the City and Sopranos DVDs. So you had to rent the correct disc from the set for each season. You had to go disc by disc the season because they fucking separated each disc into a separate rental. You couldn't rent the season, even though that's how they're like sold in stores. Just maddening. Actually maddening. He snickers, then leans in and tries to kiss me. He was stupid enough to get onions on his burger, so I dodged back. Onions are great, what? Then he looks back up at the billboard and nods with something almost like approval. That's Mr. Big. He's called that because he's got a really big cock. You've watched it? No, Theo told me about it. He was scandalized. I have no idea how he ended up seeing it. Oh. Do they show it? Carter just grins at me, something like mischief sparkling in his eyes. He's always been an open book to me, but today he's like a whole other person. I can't read past that manic glint. The Carter I know would never sit and chat about cock sizes. I'm glad he's feeling better about himself, but I'm also surprised it came this easily. I had to reassure him so many times after. Well, afterwards. He takes me through the city center, past towering, brutalist corporate headquarters, and across a 100-foot river. The train followed this same river for the last hour of my journey. I saw it start thin enough that I could leap across it. The shopping center is crisscrossed with flashing Christmas lights, and carolers sing as we pass. We stop to watch a man in a penguin costume do a dance that is somehow meant to advertise a new phone shop. Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, actual cartridges too, okay. We spend nearly an hour at Game Station, musing over the new releases we can't afford, trying to name every Pokemon. We reach 150, only for the guy at the counter to snort and tell us that there's actually 151. They just sat there and named all 150. Feels insane to me. It feels like it just takes too long as an activity. Wait, that dates this, yeah. So we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Golden Axe is behind that, I think. No, because that word isn't. Actually, no. Is that? Oh, that is the word axe. It almost looks like the word covenant or something, and I was like, what game is Covenant? You can see it, right? Guy that can't talk to me right now that's watching this. I think that is AXE at the end. So the must be Golden Axe. I thought I recognized that. And the top one might be Battletoads? I don't know. It's so blurry. I think I remember Battletoads having a concave logo. I'm old. I'm an old man. And this is an era where the first Pokemons are out, so red and blue are out, maybe yellow, and there are not yet silver and gold. So it's a very specific year, actually, that I can't place, but I was there. I was like 6 or something, which means that these people are old and hot now. I'm afraid you made the grave mistake of forgetting Pinsir, sirs. Oh, so they got Mew. They forgot Pinsir. Which, I mean, everyone forgets Pinsir, because it took me a moment to remember. How do you get to that number and specifically Miss Pinsir, though? All right. We leave a small plastic bag with 2 pre-owned SNES games and a new, enduring catchphrase to parrot back at one another. For the one about forgetting pincer? You've made a grave mistake if you think I'm going into lush with you, sir. Look at all the cars. Hey, sorry, do you guys have any Kentucky Blackblade stuff? Sorry, I don't think so, lads. A grave mistake. I just keep going back and forth with that. What do we got here? Mortal Kombat, RoboCop, really hard to read logos, so I have to recognize them based on their art, and I don't think the left one is Fatal Fury, is it? Oh. No, that's Street Fighter. That's Chun-Li, that's Cammy. Everyone else is really hard to make out. But I don't recognize the specific is it the first Street Fighter that no one ever talks about? I don't know who was in that game. I just recognize Chun-Li and Cammy. And maybe Bison in the top left corner? The original Mortal Kombat. I have no idea what the other machines are. I cannot make them out at all. I'm a fake gamer. Fake gamer bro. We finish at the cinema, funneling pound coins into the various arcade machines. He kicks my ass at the shooters and puffs his chest out proudly with each victory, refusing to move until I give him a congratulatory kiss. I assume it's a light gun shooter? Or we're like first-person shooters in the arcade. It draws the eyes of some of the parents there with their kids. It's something I'm aware of, as determined as I am not to let it ruin our fun. I had warned him that I might be tired after my journey, that I might not have the energy for the morning date he had planned, but we get through his whole list and grab sandwiches too before we catch the bus. The buses smell different here. Everything's different here. The only constant is him, and even that seems uncertain today. I rest my cheek on his shoulder as the bus rumbles into motion, just wanting a sniff of him, that warm, comforting Carter musk. That's a trippy looking building. Oh, the way that the square pattern reaches all the way to the edges, so it looks like just a stack of blocks that kind of looks like it's falling over. It does not inspire trust, the visuals of it. It's wild. He wakes me when we arrive at a stop, 20 minutes later. What's going on there? A very, like, edited in tube TV, but there's also like a weird line. There's like a weird outline in the middle of the screen, kind of, which looks shaped like... That's trippy. So like, this thing's edited in, obviously. It's like pasted in. Its shape matches this line here. I wonder what the purpose of that is. Like, it looks like it's left over, like they edited it here and moved it over there and left the outline in, or if they intentionally are doing sort of like artifacts. It means I'm still half asleep the first time we walk into his flat. I've seen pictures of the place before. It's cozy. I really do mean that, rather than small, because the walls are plastered with posters, and the sofa that takes up half the living room space is coated in colorful blankets. The place feels lived in. It's warm, and it smells like the cheap vanilla candles that they've never burned, just left in the doorway. And fuck me, they have their own bathroom, not one shared with 5 other men in an overstuffed little student house. What? There he is. That's what now I know what they means. Rally? Rayleigh? You and Rayleigh? I open my mouth to say something, but Theo's on me already, lunging in and tugging me into a tight hug, whilst his curved tail swings behind his back. I've never met him before, but I've heard Carter's opinion of his little sister's first boyfriend. As such, I knew to expect a hug. I pat his back, and he draws back, absolutely beaming. I'm Theo. I've heard so much about you. All of it positive, but goodness, you're tall. Yeah, you too. At least a foot taller than I expected. I mess with those jangling fabric ears of his, and he grins as they ring out. Rayleigh hasn't stopped looking me up and down. Her arms are crossed tightly, and her glare is so sharp I can feel it like fingernails over my pelt. Yeah, I guess you'll do for him. Come on, Rayleigh. You already know I'm too good for your brother. I flash her a cocky smile and jut my chin out with faux pride. Oh, she likes that. Instantly her stance loosens. She leans in and slaps my shoulder chummily. When you get sick of him, I'll introduce you to our neighbor. He's proper hot. Rayleigh. Oh, he looks angry. She laughs and sticks her tongue out, and he messes her short, styled hair. She instantly tries to stick her finger up his nose. Ah, no. Theo just stands beside me, shoulder against mine, and watches them with just the faintest hint of nerves, as if he's not quite sure this is play. Whilst they bicker, I put my backpack down and root around in it, until I find a couple of small wrapped gifts from underneath my clean clothes. I hand one to Theo, and Rayleigh stops assaulting her brother to take hers too. I got Rayleigh a black leather wallet, and her eyes light up at the sight of it. Fuck yes! I thought these idiots forgot I wanted a wallet. Yeah, you made that very clear, Ray. I had to convince her not to go buy one on Boxing Day. I had to convince her to not go buy one on Boxing Day, Hartland. You're welcome. For some reason, I keep struggling with the names of the two main characters, and then we switch perspectives, and it's just, like I just had a moment of pause where I'm like, wait a minute, am I right about who I'm voicing right now? Oh fuck! Theo looks like he's about to cry. It's perfect, Hartland. Thank you. Another tight embrace, arms latching around my waist, and I look over his head to Rayleigh and Carter, who both shrug apologetically at me. He's very warm and smells vaguely of gingerbread. So he's like, oh, he's all Christmas themed so far. He had like the silly little jingling antlers, and now he smells like gingerbread. I decided not to tell Theo that I was passed a very specific message from Rayleigh. Theo could do with the new cap or something, because his head gets cold really fast. But make it stretchy, because his giant head doesn't fit most hats. Just like me! I've had to give up on entire stores and try other stores, because I can't find anything that fits on my giant fucking head. He only breaks away from me when Rayleigh slaps his ass. Lee! Come on, we have a movie to get to. Hartland, I'll bring Chippy home tonight. You got an order? Chippy being... At first I read Chippy like it was a nickname, but it's actually food. Oh god, between that and the burgers this morning, I'm already feeling queasy. Salad? I was just starting to like you. The two of them grab their coats and trot out the door. And as they go, Rayleigh flashes Carter an unsubtle wink, making it clear that she is on strict orders to clear out. And then we're alone. Well, thank fuck you managed to get those antlers off his head. I've been trying for days. I forgot what we look like. Are we switching perspectives? Come here. He lunges at me, and I dodge aside, laughing and leaping backwards into the living room. He skids to a dramatic halt and slowly looks over his shoulder. Like this is the final shot of an action movie. Two men staring each other down, knowing one of them is about to die. I think he'll come for me again, but he pauses. And I pause too, in a moment of quiet, stunned silence. We're finally together again. Then I'm lunging for him, gripping his face and kissing him like he's vital, throwing him back in the living room wall. They're getting to it. We're gonna see how they've progressed in the last 2 months, I guess. It's interesting that the two, like, I get a little deja vu with this one from, like, Ediction. Not because of any similarities in its story, obviously. It's just that there's 2 consecutive Novembucks where, like, the sort of, like, standout game is this, like, very alternate style visuals thing that also is a lot of text. Like, Ediction was, like, I think it was 22,000 words or something like that. This one's at 30,000 words, which is a lot for a game jam build. That's crazy. It's also why we're not going to be getting through the game in this video. Ediction took us like 8 episodes. This one would take like 12 plus or something, probably. We were not... This is... I try to get through the entire game jam game in a let's try each time. Like when I try to cover game jams, because they're short on average. So I try to like stick it out and make it through the whole thing instead of stopping like... and then finding out I was like 75% done already. No. This one would require a series. This one would be a commitment. So we're gonna be treating this like a normal let's try, as opposed to how I try to like make it all the way through for game jams. He snarls into the kiss, pushes back just as ferociously, his fingers shoving under my shirt and raking at the soft fur of my belly, pouring his heat through me. I break away from him. Hartland. And I wrench up his t-shirt up over his head, revealing that thick chest of his, those pecs that I rub my face against, get my scent all over, and claim. I'm reading weird today because I had a root canal last week, and my gums just still hurt, which is fun. So like certain movements just sort of like agitate me, and I'm like, so it's kind of like making me speak a little weirdly. Oh my god, he's literally a statue. I kiss him, and he wrenches my shirt so hard the buttons pop open, one even skittering across the linoleum. I don't care. I shrug it off and push into him, our pelts finally touching, my most slender frame against his powerful physique. I drag my fingers at his sides for a moment until he grips my hips and spins me. Carter. He pushes me against the wall, his pecs against my shoulder blades now, bearing down on me, all heat and muscle. He snarls in my ear and grinds himself through his jeans onto my ass. You ready for your Christmas present, kitty? God, I have no idea where this attitude has come from, but I like it. A shudder runs through me, a ripple across my fur, and he kisses my throat. After 2 months of worrying that I'd fucked this up again, it's perfect. I don't know how we make it to the bedroom. Somehow my jeans are here, but my underwear is in the living room still. I think he balled them up and flung them out of there, as if they were at risk. As if there were any risk I might try to get back into them. I kiss him, push nakedly against him, drag at him, knead him, until he pushes me off him, sends me careening back onto his bed with a squeak of bed springs. I gasp, scramble to get my arms under me, and prop myself up so I can look at him through the mussed mane over his eyes. Look at him through the mussed mane over my eyes. I was like, that didn't make any sense. He stands at the base of the bed, arms crossed over his chest, leering at me. Well, unwrap your gift, kitty. Fuck, yes. I sit properly, shift over the edge of the bed, and fumble excitedly at his belt, then his fly. I wrench those jeans down his legs and step from them, and he steps from them, wearing just a pair of jet black briefs with gold trim. And I pause. What? I'm staring at a prominent, straining bulge, one that's wrenching the fabric of his underwear taut, away from his hips. Those briefs look fit to burst off of him, honestly. When I look up at his eyes, I can see the same mischief glinting there that he's had all day. Though he's trying to look relaxed and casual about this, there's a tightness to his fingers and shoulders that makes it clear he's excited about this too. I was wondering what they're going to reveal, because they were hinting that something was up with him. So I'm like, we got to keep going to find out what's going on there. Has he packed his underwear or something? Or what? Tentatively, not quite certain what to expect, I reach to the waistband of his underwear and carefully guide it down, far enough that the fabric can tumble to his ankles. What fruit is that? Or carrot? A 7-inch cock throbs before my eyes, thick with a sideways curve. It's like its own weight is dragging it towards my lips. It's beautiful. How? Is it real? Fuck yeah, it's real. I reach out and touch it, feel the heat pouring through it, feel the twitch it gives beneath my fingers. With my other hand, I reach to his bare hip and part his pelt, comparing the flesh I find there with this. His cock's a little darker and maybe a little more sensitive to my touch, but the texture's the same. Then I lean in and kiss its tip. Just once, just to be certain. It's the wrong "it's" again. It tastes like him, if a little more concentrated. This is him. What the fuck, Carter? I stare up at him, wide-eyed, stunned, and he grins. I know. Now bend over. Wait, you have to explain. After. I'll explain after. Fuck. I might have had to edit that one out too. It's a lot. But this is more intense this time. They had a good time. They went multiple times. It's noteworthy that the first time the language was much more mechanical from the perspective of the other guy, but also just because everything was awkward. But here things are just passionate, so the language became more metaphorical and poetic, and which makes it more emotionally. I guess they're both very emotionally effective, but one of them is sad and fumbling and kind of a bummer and kind of funny, and this one is just like, hang on a minute, oh, the vapors. It's dark by now, and the only light is the soft yellow glow that spills in his window. Not from the moon, but from a street lamp outside. Carter turns to me, mouth still open, not gasping for air anymore, just forgetting himself as he eyes my face. Are you happy? The question takes me by surprise. I smile at him and give the question the weight it deserves. I don't think I've ever been happier, Carter. I've been worried about this for so long, certain I'd fuck up again somehow. My eyes glance to his one remaining antler. I can't help it. He says nothing. But today's been perfect. You're the only person I don't measure myself around, Carter. With you, I'm never making sure I'm not being too loud or too quiet, too gay, or fuck, even too straight. It's just me and with you. I'm just me with you. No playing pretend. I can see the gears turning in his head, thinking over some glib, silly response. A roleplay joke would be easy, but he just listens. You know everything about me already, and we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, so there's no rush to do anything. There's no rush to anything we do. Psh, speak for yourself. I'm trying to make up for 2 months here. I swat his chest, and he laughs and rolls away, as if I'd struck him with the baseball bat, flailing his arms, pretending he's flying. When he settles back beside me, I stroke circles in the fur of his chest, and eye him up. Are you happy? He stares at the ceiling a while, longer than I would have expected. Whilst he considers it, he takes a couple of paracetamol from a packet beside the bed and swallows them dry. I nudge his nose with mine, and he finally glances at me. What man wouldn't be happy? I'm about to press him when he rolls himself over and lays atop me. I'm squashed down beneath his pelt, still sticky with my own load, and squirm as the bed springs complain below us. He lifts himself off me enough that I can gasp and laugh. Then he kisses me, softly, tenderly. There's my Carter. I sneak one of my paws up to stroke his chest, to stroke his cheek. and when he lifts away, his eyes sparkle. Then he winces, flops beside me and makes me bounce. God, I feel cramp coming on. I rub his shoulder and wait for it to pass. So, come on, what did you do? I reach down and stroke that slick, exhausted cock of his. What a way to describe it. Letting my purrs rumble through my fingertips into it. Surgery? Or like, dick pumps actually work? I only know about those from Austin Powers. Oh, because it's new. That's a new movie right now. That's funny. I saw that recently. Again. And I was like, huh. Movie has a very specific vibe for a very specific era. A lot of it really works. More so the spy parody stuff. The womanizing gets kind of exhausting. In particular, because like there's just like they just kind of cast a woman to be like the stick in the mud serious girl, and then at some point she just kind of like flips. Like she gets enough like basically just sexual harassment from somebody that's just explicitly saying I want to fuck you over and over again the whole movie, that she just kind of caves. And I'm like, I don't know if I love that part of the movie actually. Carter looks me over once, ears flattening against his skull. The first moment of hesitation I've seen all day with him. Then he rolls away from me, leans over the edge of the bed, and retrieves a remote control. He aims at the dinky little TV sat on his chest. Okay, that's why we keep reading. My brain was like, there's a TV on his chest? The dinky little TV sat on his chest of drawers opposite us, which jolts to life as if struck. There's a moment of snowy static, then the play icon appears as the screen goes dark. Are we gonna get a fucking demonstration, or is this a distraction? Reveal your true manhood. Video Hypnosis. It is a VHS. I was gonna say, something's going on here, right? I'm fully bracing for some level of like body horror or like some kind of really unsettling element to go with the art style too, but also just like, what happened here? By Deacon Domino. The videotape you are about to view is extremely powerful. It should be utilized only by those certain they are ready to become the other men they were always destined to be. Apologize to yourself now, because who you are at this moment will no longer exist by the end of this video. It incorporates auditory hypnosis, as well as subliminal suggestion, with visions intended to help you easily slide into your trance. Really? Yeah, I know. But yeah. Put this video on before you go to bed, or in bed as you fall asleep, if possible. Talk to your loved ones about this option. Carter takes the remote and hits the fast forward button, skipping through. There's a lot of rules at the start. I think that's part of it, honestly. Boring you into being ready to hypnotize. Ah, here. It's actually unnerving because I was like just thinking about horror elements, and then I'm like, wait a minute. The last game I covered from Novembuck was drawn by Jimmy, and Jimmy's contribution to last year's Novembuck, which got so delayed it didn't get submitted at all and just came out later as a standalone game, was a hypnosis horror game, specifically. If you have any concerns about starting treatment, please consult a medical professional. Let us begin. You are now perfectly comfortable. Breathe in deeply and relax. Breathe out and let all the stress of your day slip from beneath your lips, between your lips. Feel that rough air become smooth over your tongue. Feel that rough air become smooth over your tongue, huh? Huh? You are in a great golden meadow of sweet virgin wildflowers, untouched by man's hand. You hardly remember the day's events. They feel like a story from 100 years ago, one you now decry. You lie on your belly, prostrate, and inhale deeply of the earth. Any pain and anger from the day has seeped from you in the earth. into the earth, and you are at peace. This is a lot, Carter. In part, nerves are a distant memory. This moment rivals any you've ever experienced. Yours is a gift to be shared. Like a serpent, you will shed your skinity. What? You stand naked, unashamed. For you are glorious, and all eyes are upon you. You tower over your kin, and your brothers kneel. You must empty your soul whilst you are stood. Draped about the shoulders in a mantle of stars, you do not wear the night's scent. You do not wear carmine or cochineal. I take the remote from Carter and hit the mute button, eyeing him incredulously. He just smiles at me, honestly, openly. And I know he's not lying to me. He really thinks this has worked. And, well, who am I to argue with that? As ridiculous as it sounds, I can reach down and finger along the proof right now, flopped against his belly. I do just that. Touch him, feel him, and he leans back and enjoys the attention. Where did it come from? Charity shop? I was so fucking embarrassed buying it. I bought like 6 other tapes and hid it in the middle of the pile, but the bucks kind of stood out anyway. Reveal your true manhood, video hypnosis. What's on the cover? I'm not even sure. Huh. I have no idea. It's abstract enough that parts of it I was like, looking again, I'm like, wait, is there a penis anywhere in here that should be worried about censoring? At my look, he rolls over and fishes under the bed again. This time he returns with the box. It's bigger than a typical VHS box, and it's clearly old. The dark cover of it faded with time. It's gotta be the fucking Cochronomicon. Once again with the weird outlines. So they're on purpose, whatever's going on with those. When I sit up and flip it open, I find there's an additional space next to where the tape sits, with a glass vial sat snugly in place. There's a cork stopper in it, but it's otherwise empty. In fact, it gleams compared to the otherwise dusty box. I think he might have washed it. What was in here? Oh yeah, I don't know. It was empty. I'll find some use for it, though. Question is he pretending he didn't drink it? Or did it genuinely just not come with, like, what was probably the actual, like, serum or whatever this was supposed to work with? Or I'm surprised it's like a vial or something. My first glance is I thought it was gonna be like crystals. It's a JO crystal. The box doesn't have much more information than the tape. It lists the length as 47 minutes and Deacon Domino as the creator. It doesn't list a company he works for or much other information. There's no rating on it or anything else to suggest that it was legitimately produced and sold. Not even a barcode. You totally just got somebody's like experiment that they deposited to pass on like their like either to see if it would work on people or to like it's like the Ring tape like passing on a horror. I picture a shifty hypnotist selling these out of his car after a seminar. Then I hand it back and flop beside him, giving a weary sigh. If you played this tonight while he was asleep, Carter, am I going to end up with a third leg? Carter grins, and he casually reaches down and feels his my limp prick. He leans in close and kisses me, softly, sweetly. You've got plenty already, Hartland. But you'd not mind, right? I'm not sure. I quite like him the size he is. I wouldn't worry, though. You need to want it with your whole heart. And all I want is you. We kiss again, for a long while, touching each other but not moving further than that. Eventually, when I lean back, he unmutes the video. It's nearly over already. You must identify problems. You must know problems. You must dethrone problems, decrown problems, make them kneel before you, before your crown slides from your skull. You will tolerate no insult. It's strange self-help thing or something wild. Funny because this also like raises so many questions about video censoring. I'm like, do you censor statues in YouTube videos? Do you censor a YouTube video where there's a statue and then somebody puts like a fruit or something in front of it, but it's not actually anyone's human nudity? I have no idea. He looks so short. He looks so short next to the sink with its monochrome photo, but mysteriously purple goo. That looks like the goo from like Ivan Ooze. I'm distracting you with penis. The soap looks like Ivan Ooze's goo. I haven't thought about that for a while. Why does that look? Is it real purple or fake purple? I think it's real purple. Sometimes people can do stuff with grayscale where it looks, they can make gray look like certain colors. I think this is just like the scene is monochrome, but purple was left out of the desaturation. Yeah, there's little hints of purple. Yeah, there's one in there's some in the back corner and so on. And down there on the top of the bent stepladder thingy, I think. Anyway, this has been this video. You can check out Mr. Big if you want to and are an adult, and you can find the full versions of the scenes that I probably abridged or skipped over because they're a lot for a YouTube video. But overall, this has been pretty solid. I'm curious where it's heading and so on, because it builds a question. It's interesting to know how long it is going in, haha, because this isn't just like you're bracing for what's coming. You're like, okay, they had a relationship problem at the beginning. This guy thinks it's because he had a short dick, but it's more potentially his own insecurity leading to all these communication barriers and so on. But it's also like a normal number of communication struggles starting a relationship and meeting for the first time in person, that there's all sorts of asymmetrical expectations that are difficult to get through without just kind of working through them. That's kind of like a part of what's awkward about a lot of this stuff is trying to figure out how to communicate and what each other value and whether or not your own insecurities matter and so on. So it's really interesting to have the perspective swap and immediately have our character not thinking about it at all. Like, the second perspective doesn't ever think about size at any point in the story, except for when confronted with specifically an impossibility that can't not make you think about that, but that's it. Which is interesting to see playing out like that. But now I'm just waiting. I'm like, that tape seems nefarious. The fact that this is the beginning of the story, and you're like, it's not going to be like, he had a small dick, and then he got a big dick, and that made him confident, and then their relationship was good forever in the end. They lived happily ever after. And I'm like, we're probably like 3,000 to 5,000 words deep into a 5,000 words, a 30,000 word story or something. So I'm like, where the fuck is that going to go? That sounds wild. So that might be worth checking out. I can anticipate why this has been recommended so much. But that's the time we have for today. Thanks for watching like always, guys, and I will see you next time. Also, be sure to check out the rest of the Game Jam participants, which are easy to find because there's everyone who participates in a jam, it'll be like, this was submitted as part of this jam on the corner of the screen, and so you just click on that to actually look at the other ones. Pro tip. See you guys next time.